is we need to pray for this country. We need to pray for the world. We need to think positive. We need to pray for the people that are involved. We need to pray for Diddy and other persons to get saved, for them to come closer to God. I want them to be saved. Diddy, I think you're going to hear this. It's not too late for you. You can pray and ask God to come into your heart and get this thing right. And that maybe perhaps that's why you were seeing TD Jakes, and TD Jakes will be the person to go to. So at the end of the day, Diddy, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for Sean Carter. I'm praying for all the, and it's not just the Sean Carter y'all know. It's another Sean Carter out there. It's a couple Sean Carters we know, y'all. We're praying for all persons involved in this whole shenanigans. But I think that in the prayer, there's a purpose, everybody. There's a purpose, and there's a reason, and there's a plan. And we want you to be a part of it. Don't think that this is the end. This is not the end. If you wake up every day, you have a chance to live again. So God is no respecter of person. And sometimes you get caught up in these evil rituals, these evil things that a lot of folk do, by the way. You call narcissism, what do you call intimidation, all the control. These are the same things. If you have these kind of concerns, you need to look at yourself. You know, it's a full-time job minding your own business, right? So mind your business and take care of your business the way you're supposed to, because that's going to help you be a better person. So at the end of the day, everybody, going back to the beginning, mirror it. I want you to know that our case, Ramir does not need to drop anything. He is not looking and seeking any paternity. For this case, we're looking for justice as it relates to the judges. I hope we're clear. And there is a complaint out there that you can read. It gives some stuff. It's the stuff from, we have a few complaints that have been over the years, and the narrative pretty much has been the same. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. The other thing is, we talked about the trauma in the court and why we're talking now. First, we can do what we want because that's our own business. Second, there's trauma. There's trauma. There's concerns. There is concerns. There's stuff that happens, y'all. When people, it's not so much as winning and losing. When you got somebody that has the authority to do something and they abuse it, and you hear things and you see things, and even though you might not deal with it right then, it still traumatizes you because first you don't even believe it's happening. That's a fact. So that's the first thing. So there's trauma that deals with court, and you got to deal with your trauma the way you think you should deal with it. And hopefully it's in a positive way. I'm not saying to go and try to shoot nobody up. Don't do none of that. We don't need no more of that. We don't need no more Black men killing each other and killing other people. I felt compelled. I had a podcast anyway, already talking about my personal story because I wrote a book. Yes, I did, y'all. It's called My Story, Tragedy Turned to Opportunity, where I lost my parents at 11 years old, so forth and so on. And I wanted to talk about my story in that regard, my personal story and my legal story. The legal story just came out of nowhere. I didn't know it was going to be this long, but God called me to it, right? He called me to it. So we had to carry it out. So at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure I came on and talk about that, and to make it known to you, make it, very clear as best I can. And I'm going to say it over and over again. So you have what our cases are about. You have trauma that goes along with fraud, because fraud is expensive, especially if somebody's covering up the cover up and you got the judges helping. Then you're going against the grain because, first of all, you can't believe the judges are doing that, but then you really realize that they are. And then we talked about the fires. That what kind of length, what people go through to cover something up. Great. I mean, Geez, you wonder, why am I doing this then? Why would you do something? It takes you twice as much time and money to cover it up later. That's a weakness, y'all. That means you got a problem. Because the problem you have has led you to a disaster. Because that's what you're in. You're in a disaster state and can't really get yourself back. But I believe that you can. I believe that if you stop, because God loves the underdog, the world loves the underdog, and confess. Two kind of confessions. One, because you want to be a better person. If you want to be a believer, we want you to. And two, confess what you did wrong. And say, hey, you know what? I messed up. And I need to get it together, y'all. So that was the other thing. And then I talked about the Annalisa, the judge, and how it was important to have a judge. That's why I'm so excited about her. Keep praying for y'all. Judge Annalisa Torres. Annalisa Torres. Annalisa. Keep praying for her. Because she's under tremendous pressure. And people are trying to throw her some bones so she can live in a mansion and she can do it. She probably already live in one. Or they want to give her a bigger one for fraud or doing something that ain't right. No. When she put her hand up and took an oath of office before the public and before the community, before God, she meant it. And people don't need to buy their way out for justice. You don't need to. If you do, you know you're wrong. Then why would you be worried about it if it's not a problem? So this is a prime example of how things catch up with you. Things happen because you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad to be a part of what I'm glad to be a part of. I'm not really sure, how to say that statement, because I'm not really happy to be a part of a lot of crazy, stinky stuff. I'm not. But I understand that this is part of life and it's a journey. I don't pick fights, but I don't run from them either. And I think that if you want to live again and you want to do what's right, you got to find ways to do what's right in the eyes of God first, and then yourself. And if you are finding yourself tangled up in your own decisions, the eyes of yourself, and your decisions is leading you down a path of crazy, then that's a problem. And I think you, as a person, want to make some changes. So I'm just happy today, regardless. I'm thankful always anyway, the good, bad, and the ugly. I am. You live to learn to live with those things. So I thank God for all of you. And I'm praying that some of these things we're going to be saying and talking about will help people out there become more thankful and helpful to their community and also to themselves.